Let's face it, healthcare benefits are one of the bigger expenses for a credit union. And as a result of that, having a positive contribution as opposed to just a linear expense makes a huge difference. Having utilized and partnered with CU Benefits at a prior credit union as CEO there, I made it a priority to utilize CU Benefits at Rockland just because of the positive experience we had. When you can kind of recreate benefits and position them as a competitive advantage, meaning you're developing packages or programs that resonate with different segments of your employee base, it really changes things. I think the Alliance is different from other brokers for a variety of reasons, but I think maybe starting with the basics, being a QSO, I think that right out of the box changes the fundamentals. I think cooperative values, particularly in the credit union industry, really resonate when you're looking for partners. Having worked with the Alliance before, I had a little bit of a different experience simply because I knew what value they could bring, but I think our HR department in particular was really surprised right from the initial contact. Working with a credit union-only exclusive benefits provider, it really is kind of sets the tone right up front. Understanding our industry, understanding board dynamics, understanding the member relationship, all those items really kind of start the conversation at a much higher level than you're starting with maybe a private broker of some sort. They get it. The benefits plan that Rockland has implemented with the Alliance has been completely customized. It's been a dramatic increase in value for our employees. Not only have I heard that from employees, but I've actually heard it from my own wife, where the value of certain elements, whether it was vision, whether it was medical, costs have decreased. The subsidies and payments for upgrades and stuff have dramatically improved. And I honestly, at a shocking level, I think that that's been one of the coolest things of all, is just being pleasantly surprised at every corner. It's not very often that you can actually decrease cost and increase value. And I think the Alliance does exactly that. There are so many incremental improvements in the value proposition for our employees, but at the same time, we've reduced cost. And I think that it doesn't get any better than that in terms of business. The employees reacted to the improved benefits program very, very positively. I think whenever you talk about change, there's always a concern. So like, hey, what's going to happen? What are employees going to think? But it was really working with the Alliance about an effective communication plan to employees, pointing out the reduction in cost, pointing out the increase in value. So, once we started down that road and explanation, it was, I think for everybody, just a no-brainer, like, hey, of course, I wish we had done this a lot sooner. Some of the initial concerns really are just the term self-funding. And I think anyone, in a management team that hears that, it kind of sends the radar antenna up a little bit. But once you understand what we're really talking about, once we understand what that means, it turns in from kind of like a question mark to something that's incredibly positive. One of the things I personally like about self-funded plans is it creates an incentive for management and staff to live healthy. And so the idea that it just aligns us all to do the right thing, I think that's the biggest takeaways. And it really ends in results. And I think it's healthier living for everybody. That said, though, we also looked at kind of tiering changes. And so what I mean by that is incremental changes. So our ultimate goal isn't necessarily to have the benefits package we have today, but is to continue to be more aggressive, more value proposition for our employees. So we kind of mapped it out with the Alliance folks and came up with like a 3-year plan where we're incrementally making adjustments. So we're not shocking the existing employees, but we continue to improve our value proposition. To me, it's just kind of a way of exceeding expectations for our employees and talking about what's coming, not just this year, not just next year, but even the year after that. Any credit union looking to transition to CU Benefits Alliance would really just be to get educated. And what I mean by that is, not only talking to CU Benefits Alliance, in terms of how the program works, how, what is the funding approach, but more specifically, I think the most valuable element of it is talking to peers that are using the Alliance today. That unique element about the credit union industry where our peers, talk and have open, candid conversations. I've spoken myself personally, as well as our senior team have talked to a lot of peers through that validation approach, and there has always been glowing reviews as it relates to the value proposition, the service, the cost savings, and the true cooperative partnership.